This is the Sony Ericsson Z610, a phone focused on design in a clamshell. So this phone was marketed as the phone that blends performance with standout design, and as you can tell here, it is gorgeous. The front, it has a mirror-like finish and different colors actually. This is the black one, or if you want to go by Sony Ericsson's terms, it's a luster black. It was available in rose pink and airy blue as well. And on the front here, there's actually an LED strip here. If you can see, I'm not sure how well it shows off here. I'll have more video here to show you. I'll show you more about it later. Oh, you can see it. There's a small LED display up here. Actually not LED, it's an OLED. And it was white, and it looked amazing when it was on because it looked as if it was floating on the mirror here. Unfortunately, this one is broken, so I cannot show it to you here. But here are some photos showing how it worked, and it looked gorgeous. However, with this wonderful design comes at a cost. If you can look at that shimmering, you can see that there's a lot of scratches. This guy is the scratch attractor in every shape and form. Front, full of scratches. Glossy back plastic, tons of scratches. Actually, to be fair, the right and the left chrome silver finish didn't scratch much, but this is an old phone, so look at that. The phone was mostly a glossy finish, even on the back, as you can tell, it's all glossy over the back. We have the name of the phone here, Sony Ericsson. Oh, and a speaker here, which is very, very loud, by the way. It's louder than most phones I've seen today. And a 2 megapixel camera on the back. Is it back or front? It's the back camera, so 2 megapixel back camera. So it was a pretty decent feature phone at the time. It's not as high megapixel as the Cybershot series, which at the time I think was 3.2 megapixels, but 2 megapixels in 2006 was not bad. But that being said though, it is chunky. Look at how thick that phone is. So let's see more of this phone as we flip it open. Alright, unfortunately I'm changing the lighting here because if not, you cannot see the screen because the screen actually doesn't go very dim. But on the bottom we have a lovely keypad over here that is quite it's quite shallow in depth. I'm not gonna be honest. It looks quite nice, but the depth is quite shallow and the response and tactile feeling is not that great. But we do have a lot of shortcut buttons here. We have the web shortcut button. If you're familiar with Sony Ericsson phones at the time, practically every phone had this web button in the middle range, in the mid-range to higher end. We also have a multitasking button right here and the photo and video key right here. Unlike other Sony Ericsson phones, we don't have a camera key on the right, but we do have a play and pause key on the left. And we also have volume keys on the... where's the volume keys? Oh, the volume keys are also on the left. And we have the traditional Sony Ericsson clamshell with the power button on the bottom right. Or the bottom, actually. And actually here, unfortunately, because this is a second-hand model, it hasn't survived that well. It actually had a like glitter almost of a center button, but it's gone sadly. And then it had a chrome silver ring around this and the sides, but unfortunately that has peeled off due to wear and tear. And yeah, you have a typical back clear to soft keys layout of a Sony Ericsson, and yeah, that's about it about the keypad. Moving on to the display over here, we have a 2.4 inch 176p display. Yeah, that's one of the downfalls of this screen, is that the screen isn't very high resolution at the time. Even for back then, Nokia was producing 360p screens, and so was Sony Ericsson in their Cybershot line and the higher end phones. It was unfortunately a bit low res on the screen here, but it's still pretty usable. I mean, it's actually not pretty, it's very usable still. And it's quite nice and responsive. It's your typical Sony Ericsson UI of that time. Most Sony Ericsson phones from about, I would like to say, 2005 to about 2008 use this user interface. So if you ever use a Sony Ericsson phone, it is practically the same user interface. It is not a Walkman phone though, so the music player is the non-Walkman music player. So you don't have the up and down to get into the playlist from the now playing screen. But that being said though, you can still activate the playback from the button on the left. Left, yes. And you can change tracks by pressing and holding the volume keys. And we also have a small camera on the top right for video calls, which was only makeable on 3G at the time. And if you're asking, no, you cannot use the camera and take self-portraits or selfies with this camera. Sadly, it doesn't work. The only way to use this camera is to actually go into video calling. That's the only way where you can actually see the camera. As you can see, hey camera, hello, how are you camera? Let me switch the layout so you can actually see it bigger. Hello camera, how are you doing? You can see that huge light on there. Hello, Adriel says hello. Hello, okay. In terms of other features this phone had, it had Bluetooth, it had an M2 cloud slot, which you will need because this phone only has like 16 megabytes of internal memory, and you don't, or free, which you will use up very quickly. It also had things like games and themes and all those lovely goodness. And I don't remember anything else. Oh, it also has 3G. I forgot about that. That's a huge thing I forgot to mention. It had 3G. But GSM Arena says that it might only have Edge. It doesn't have Edge while it has 3G. I can't validate that, unfortunately, but that's what I heard. According to CNET, this phone retailed for about $160 off contract and basically free on contract, so it wasn't too expensive either. So that is all for today for the Z610i. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you want to see more videos of old phones being reviewed per se today, subscribe to this channel as I will try to post more videos of phones like this as it comes up. As you can tell, this phone is not in the most pristine condition, as you can tell with the screen. If I can get a better Z610, I will upload a new video and relink this video. So hopefully we get to see one, because this phone's condition is not good. Look at those scratches there. Yeah. And for the record, this phone was advertised as mint. Yeah, okay, it did have the chrome ringer on it, and this was fine. But guess what? This phone was advertised as mint, and it has all this. The back cover actually doesn't go back properly. Like if I open this right now, it's gonna be really hard to get it back in. No, I'm not gonna bother. The clips on the back cover were broken. That's not something I'll describe as mint. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.